Big up, everybody. It's your boy, Mark, an MUFC fan. Wait, hold on. I'm not sure if I'm connected just now. 1 second, guys. 1 second. 1 second. Audio. Mic. Hello, can you hear me? Big up, everybody. Sorry about that. I forgot to connect my headphones. You know how it goes. Big up to Man United Greek fan in the building. Big up to Danny B as well. Big up to Kenny Fan TV. Let's get the discussion going. Of course, we are celebrating yesterday. We know that Embremo is here. Done deal is around the corner. Here we go. Partial medical completed. And that jazz is all nice. Also, Marcus Rashford manifesting his move to Barcelona. Two things that we thought could not be possible. Big up to Great One in the building as well, guys. It's an interesting one today as there are reports coming out that Manchester United are very close to sealing a deal with Victor Gyokeres. Who would have thought this news would be something you're hearing on a Sunday? After most reports said that Gyokeres only wants Arsenal and Arsenal are ahead in the race and they are about to complete the deal. Also, this comes fresh off the back of Manchester United in talks to assign Benjamin Sesko. What does this mean? Is Arteta really, like Great One has been saying in our chat group for weeks, blocking the Gyökeres move because he wants Sesko? Yeah, I don't know. But what is happening, guys? There are still reports that are actually factual that remain. United are in talks with Benjamin Sesko and RB Leipzig as of today, as well as talks that Man United might be putting in a third bid for Victor Gyökeres. Third or second? I believe it's second. So let's go with that one. Could it be Manchester United are trying to sign the striker? Big up to GB in the building. What's good, my brother? I hope you're well. And big up to the Greek fan. Big up to you, broski. Nice to see you as well in the building. And Bremo got the number 19 shirt. Of course, that's a very big number. And guys, if you know what that number 19 means, it's a number that Dwight York wore. And he was one of the best players when we won the treble, if not the best player that season wearing the number 19. Guys, what are your thoughts in the comments? Let me know what you're thinking. It could be an interesting situation. I don't know. Is Man United interested in signing both of these top strikers? Victor Gyokeres, 26 years old, Benjamin Sesko, 22 years old. It's a stark contrast. Two strikers, both going into this, one going into his third contract as the premier striker in Europe right now, coming off the back of a 64 goal campaign, and the other is a striker who was not having the best start of the season at Leipzig, but has benched his competition to become the starting striker at Leipzig. A young guy with a lot of talent, very good ability on the ball, but both of them are what I would say are pure strikers. Yes, they have good balling ability. They're very good with their feet. They can create for themselves. They can get assists as well. But what I am saying to guys is that these guys are clinical finishers. These guys are pure goal scorers. These guys get the job done. They get the ball in the back of the net. And this is one of those situations where I say, guys, could any of us be onto something? I don't trust those guys. Don't really rate them. They've made some poor decisions since they came to the club, but they have made some interesting decisions as well. So we have to be honest, it's still kind of 50-50. And there's only them and what they do can change and put them in the plus side. So, guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. What are you thinking? What would you choose? Who would you sign? For me, guys, I would pray that Man United signs them both. And I'm being so real. It's very possible to sign both of them. It might take a lot of creative, you know, talking and maybe a lot of long-term payments. You know what I mean? But Man United have been doing deals and we've been getting the deals done where we are paying the clubs over the 5 years of the contract. Big up to Admiral Drex in the building saying there's some fraudulent activity going on. How come the likes are not equating? Well, that's an interesting thing, Drex. Guys, in the chat, watching. If you're not in the comments as well, smash a like, guys. It really helps the channel grow and it shares it around. Thank you so kindly. Big up to you guys watching, but let's hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking because Victor Gyokeres Yes, we do know the facts, and the facts is he is in an advanced deal with Arsenal. They are almost through with the deal. It has stalled in the last couple of days, but maybe there is an opening for Man United to make a hijack. There might very well be. But what we do know is that Benjamin Sesko is one of those targets that is looking for a move, and Arsenal talks have also stalled with them. But since last week, Wednesday, Man United have been in serious talks with Leipzig and his camp trying to sign the player. Now, the interesting news is that we have recently been linked to Colomwani, and guys, it seems like every single summer we are being linked to this guy. And I would say to everyone watching, he might have his talents, but I don't think he's the type of player we should be bringing to Man United. He's one of those players that, for me, every single club he's been at, they've been trying to moving on the very next season. And that does not bode well for any player, guys. If something spells amiss, that certainly does. The fact that he was at PSG, they moved it on. He went to Germany, they moved him on. He's in Italy, they want to move him on as well. I think there's something wrong with this player, guys. And I'm not one to be calling out anyone, but I think something's wrong with that guy. Maybe he has a bad attitude, maybe it's something else, maybe he has poor work ethic. But I don't know what I can say. It's just weird that all the clubs he goes to after the first season, they want to get rid of the guy. You know what I mean? Drex says he hopes Arteta goes all in for Benjamin Sesko. And I do as well. But I would sneakily love for United to sign both of them players together. Bad for Arsenal, good for us, ironically. Don't believe we'll get Gyokeres. But what I will say is if Amarim can step in and sell him the same vision, you just never know. Now, what I can say to you, Man United Greek fan, is that it's going to be an interesting deal if Man United could get the deal done. Of course, I won't be saying it's a hijack because realistically, we were the first club to be in for Victor Gyokeres. And at the same time, we made some mistakes ourselves by making Liam Delap our primary target. That brother, it caused a battle between Wilcox and Amorim when he tried to make him the priority signing, and we're still reeling from that moment. It's going to be interesting. As you guys probably heard, Etikite is a done deal. Here we go to Liverpool. Yeah, they've seriously strengthened that squad this season. It's going to be a difficult thing. Yeah, Danny B, I totally agree with you. Colomwani is shit. You know what I mean? It's just you hear all this talk about Colomwani this, Colomwani that. What does he do? Doesn't do nothing. And if he was so good, why are the clubs that he at always trying to get rid of him? These are the things we need to ask ourselves, guys, because we can't keep shopping for players that who seem better than what we have. And we should not be buying a player just because he's no worse than what we have who's poor. Because the difference between Kolomwani and Rasmus Hoyland is a young player developing. Kolomwani is an experienced player, 20, he will be 27 in a few weeks. That's 4 years older than Rasmus Hoyland. Equally, I would say that Rasmus Hoyland, we know this guy came here to develop. He was never the finished article. But Kolomwani, guys, Kolomwani, I don't know about that guy, bro. Ranson Bans has always been a fan of Kolomwani. I don't know about that guy, bro, because Ransom Bans is the kind of guy he would be a fan of a player just because he's a fan of the player. Doesn't mean the player's gonna be successful at any club, broski. Yeah? And I'll say that because he was defending Sancho and now he's against Sancho. So it's a bit of a wild one with Rants and Bants. Respect to the guy, he does his thing, but yeah, his opinions are his and mine's are mine's. Delap, that's a serious laugh mark and a huge blunder. Laugh at our club. 100% killer. 100%. Like, how could you make Liam Delap the prime target for Manchester United Football Club? It seems crazy to think about it. 2 seasons ago, this brother had only 5 goals to his name in professional football. It's wild. You know what I mean? Like last season, yeah, we did sign Rasmus Højlund last season or the season before. But when we were signing Rasmus Højlund, I don't think anyone was wanting this guy like he's going to be the next big thing. I think everyone was unsure. I included was not a fan of the signing. I was thinking to myself, maybe we need to do something different. But if we get this guy, then we definitely need a senior striker to lead the line. This guy should be coming off the bench. But you know what? Man United did things differently again. And last summer, we thought we were getting a striker. We got Joshua Zirkzee. And I said to everyone, Joshua Zirkzee is more of a number 10. He's more of a creative player than a bagsman. And, everyone, when he wasn't scoring the goals, they wrote him off. But his performances dictates that he's more of an attacking 10, not a striker. Of course, he did well in Italy as a striker, but it's one of those things, guys, where you have to look at it from the perspective that, the league pace is a bit slower there. And of course, he can get the job done. But his best role to me, and from my understanding of the player, is someone who's creating for a goal scorer, for a killer up front. You know what I mean? Big up 24 watching, 10 likes. Guys, we can do better than that for sure. Romano just dropped a hijack video on YouTube. Of course, I told you. I told you this is going to happen. I didn't expect them to sign Etikite, but yeah, they've been doing a big number. We should look at signing Julian Alvarez, Rodrigo Muniz, or possibly Santiago Jimenez. Well, it's going to be a difficult task trying to get Alvarez from Atletico Madrid. Santiago Jimenez, if I'm not mistaken, he has recently signed for a new club. I'm not too sure. I'll have to double check that. We'll discuss that a bit later on, but I think he signed. And Rodrigo Muniz is an interesting player. I don't mind looking at the guy, but yeah, I'm not too sure if Man United would look at the player. That's the weird thing, Samuel Ingram. Man United has not been trusting their scouting for a long time. I don't know why. They've been resorting to more data trends and other things, and it has not been super successful for us. So it's one of those things where I don't know why we don't continue with our scouting. They are the best in the business. And I can tell you for free, 90% of the players we scout, if we don't sign them, they go to other Premier League clubs, and then we want to sign them. And that's the weirdest thing. A lot of fans don't even know guys like Baliba, Caicedo, Julian Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez. All of those guys were offered to Man United years ago for chump change, 2 million, 1 million, 3 million, 5 million, 6 million. Even Oscar Vardiol was offered to Man United years ago. And we don't trust the scouting to sign these players. We've said that the data doesn't show it. And then look at what happens, guys. Look at what always happens. Trusting the data is causes this to happen most of the times. Guys, take a second to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you very much, Drex. Big up to you, broski. Man United Greek fan says, what annoys me most is we took 6 weeks to finally land on Bomo. If we were serious, we should get in all our players in and out, done and dusted before they jet out for USA. And that's in total agreement, my bro. I can't say it any different. I think when they say they make a plan, they're supposed to execute this plan very well. But what has been happening is the execution part of the plan seems more amateur than the planning. I don't dispute that they make amazing plans. There's so many well-paid advisors and stuff at Man United. They should have great plans. But it is what it is. And Drex, yes, I do understand. It's a difficult situation signing players when you have surplus requirements, but who has Liverpool sold? Liverpool has signed 3 or 4 players, and they are selling their players after. They're securing their signings first and selling players after. The same thing Man City does. It's the same thing Man City does, and it's also the same thing Chelsea does. Chelsea has 50 plus players in their squad, and they're still signing players today, Drex. Yeah, and what they do is they sell them after. They sign who they want at the beginning of the window early, and they use the rest of the time to sell players. And if in between that time a player pops up that they're looking at, they have money to go in for him. But like I say, it's all about how do you plan your summer. But what I can say, Drex, is that Man United have been planning their summer and executing these plans very poorly. Yeah. And the only reason I say that is because we talked about signing Giovanni Quenda. Well, he's at Chelsea. He's at Chelsea. We wanted to sign that defender last season from Boca Juniors. He's also at Chelsea. He's also at Chelsea. Yeah. I think Garnacho could be going to Aston Villa or Chelsea. Now tell me, Drex, don't they have a surplus of players to requirement? There are some players in their squad that hasn't even kicked a ball in 2 seasons for the first team, but they're training with the first team. But yeah, I mean, for Man United is a different stroke, and it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes there and how we do our business. Of course, guys, we have our own negative circumstances impacting the club. Certain things like we were before the transfer window. There were reports that we were too close to FFP. But they've done things that got us into a very good FFP balance where we were allowed to spend 141 million pounds this year, according to FFP. So far, we've only spent 40 million pounds, guys. I'm just gonna put that out there. Yeah. So far, we've only spent 40 million pounds. All the deals are done on layaway, so they're gonna be affecting FFP next year, the following year, the year after, but in the to the tune of 20 million. With the two players we signed, FFP will affect in the next 5 years every year 20 million from their payment values. That's what we're paying their clubs each year to get in collectively 10 million apiece. And the interesting thing is, if we make a lot of money this year, it's not even a factor. So it's interesting what they've done, and it's interesting the layaway plan that they're doing. But at the same time, Drex, my only gripe is this is Amarim needs more, and we finished 15th. And yeah, I understand we can't always sell the players how we want to sell players, but we could surely sign players we need and then work the rest of the window selling players and getting rid of them. And if we sign players in the positions of players we want to move on, I think that sends a direct and clear message to those players that they need to find a new club. More than when you're waiting for them to accept a deal to leave before trying to bring in their replacement. Sometimes I think you got to force the issue, guys. It's an interesting one. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on that? Why the hell does FFP only apply to us and never to Man City or Chelsea? Lots of dodgy things going on. That's a weird thing. But you want to know what I would say to that? They sell really well, my bro. And when you could sell a player or two or three players a season for 60 plus million a piece, like Chelsea does, Man City sells a player on average for 30 to 40 million pounds on average. Yeah, they're allowed to do what they do because they sell well. When Man United gets 30 to 50 million pounds for a player, that's an amazing achievement, my bro. It's the weirdest thing in football. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why it's like this, guys. You know what I mean? It's interesting. I don't think they even what? What does Dress say Danny be saying here? I don't think they even bid yet. D- Don't think they just making sporting about the situation with Arsenal. Possibly. Drek says he holds the ball accountable, but we know how United move, and we've had players who dug their heels in for their severance. Yeah, you can't blame players, Drex. And let's be honest, if United hadn't given them stupid contracts, which is the fault of Man United, because when you give a player a contract, does any club really give a player a contract and tell every single player they're gonna pay you out if a club purchases you? No. It happens at Man United though. I think poor decisions made by the club, poor decisions in the contract negotiations lead to these things. And a player could only dig their heels in when they've been given the power to do so. And if we give them the power to do so, again, that's on the fault of the board. And I have to say it like that. You know what I mean? I'm just looking at it from the business eye. Of course, but in football and business does not work together, bro. And this is the funny thing. A lot of finance experts and business experts, they want to give their 2 cents on football. But football is a specialty business. It's like the music business. It's not just about the money. And usually the money you pay is ridiculous sums. It's about the football. It's about winning. What does a player offer your club? You understand? So when you want to think about it on a business sense, it's not really about like the same way mass manufacture or production. It's different. So there's a lot of differences. It is a business, but it's a specialty business. A lot of the same things don't apply to that, guys. You know what I mean? What what a game that was between Germany and France. Big up to your manager with Riley. Riley, we're talking about transfers. You know what I mean? Big up to the women's football in the Euros. Germany won, as they should. Big up to them. Both of them. I mean, the previous board did make a lot of mistakes, but I think, yeah, it's a lot to go with with the owners that we have right now. Because he has 29% and he barely invests any money. Todd Bowley has 50% and he already spent a 1.5 billion. I'd say it's more the ownership and not the board. But it is what it is. Admiral Drex have they dug their heels in, but let's not forget the board in energized their ego, feeding their ego with big wages. 100%. Again, the board. I blame the board. But guys, it's an interesting one. Yeah, the topic of today. If you want to have some food for thought, guys, will United sign both Victor Gyokeres and Benjamin Sesko, or is it one or the other? Where does it lie? Sancho is set to leave, guys. Set to be off to Juventus pretty soon, within the next couple days. And I'm asking you guys now, with Man United now freeing up somewhere in the tune of 700,000 in wages, just in wages alone, guys. The fact that Barcelona are paying Rashford his wages in full and Sancho is leaving, that frees up 700,000 in wages. Could we do a deal for both Gyökeres and Benjamin Sesko based on that price point, wages not being an issue? Even if we sign both players, 180 for Benjamin Sesko should be well above what he's expecting, and 300K for Gyökeres or 250K for Gyökeres. We are still not even clearing 500K. We still saving 200K, guys. So it will be an interesting week to have this week coming. Man United, I expect to do a deal. Will they sign Gyökeres or will they sign Benjamin Sesko? That has to be a question. But the real question is, will Man United go bold and sign both strikers? That is the real boldness I would love to see. That sends a message that I would say that sends a message that we want to win things, that we are here for football. You know what I mean? And I think it would definitely scream top five. Right now, it's possible we could get in the realms of top eight. But signing Victor Gyokeres and Benjamin Sesko together, hey, top five, bro. I'm gonna immediately upgrade my prediction to top five. And of course, I think a lot will agree taking Gyökeres over Sesko because of what he's doing right now is the best choice. He's also ready to go. It's not You're not gonna need him to develop much. It's gonna be straight in bang. Yeah, I can't disagree there. You know what I mean? But I have to admit, it's been since last summer. I've been crying for Sesko. It's a player I rate very highly, and I think mostly I rate him on potential as well, and a bit of what he's doing right now because he has been consistently averaging about 15 to 20 GA over the last 3 seasons. Big up to you. You said we still need a midfielder. Where is he going to play? Where would we play this new midfielder that you're interested in buying, my bro? You know what I mean? Because I see it has Mason Mount, and we only have one game a week. The guy was so shit yesterday. I forgot I was watching a preseason game and everyone was shit. But he was more shit than everyone else. And it's a weird one. Don't rate that guy at all. He just disrespects our number seven every time he puts it on his back. I'd love us to take bold and make big statements, and now is the time. 100%, my bro. 100%. That is definitely something I would love to see us do. And if we could do that, it definitely would send a huge message to the Premier League and the European football world that Man United might just be serious once again about winning titles. And if they know anything, is that when we are serious about winning titles, we tend to dominate. Yeah, I'm not even gonna repeat that nonsense that you're saying there, bro. I'm sorry, I apologize. Aroka Arokodare Genk, 20 mil. Cheap gamble, low wages, easy move. And if he doesn't work out, might be interesting, Danny B. What position does he play? Midfield? I don't really know that player too well though. Yeah, big up, big up, big up, bro. Guys, this has been the update on a Sunday. I'm not gonna, talk away your entire day. Of course, the Gyokeres news was interesting this morning. We are in serious and advanced talks with Benjamin Sesko as well. It's not gonna be a problem, personal terms, like I said to you guys, with now Marcus Rashford leaving and Jadon Sancho all but out the door. There's a gap and a hole of 700K that possibly can be filled by two players. Let's see how it goes. That's blasphemy, King. That is blasphemy, bro. Like, I'm not even, no, bro. That's blasphemy. That's blasphemy, bro. Big up to Danny B, top scorer in Belgium. That might be interesting. Maybe we could check it out. I will definitely be talking about this guy on Monday, guys. I'll do some research on this player and maybe see what happens. Jesus. 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 Thank you so much, the great one, for the £5 super chat. Big up to you, my brother. And he says, Marken, I heard somewhere that Dorgu is next in line to be Man United captain. Jeez. I don't know, guys. I don't know how to reply to that one. Big up to Great One for its contribution. Thank you so much. I will have to leave it there. It's weird, bro. I can't see it. I cannot see it, bro. I can't. I'm trying my endeavor. But what? No. These guys are trolling, bro. I hope the door slams on Sancho on the way out to stop him from claiming freedom. Well, if anyone has seen what Marcus Rashford has posted on Instagram yesterday, disrespectful. Disrespectful, bro. The guy posts a picture of a guy with breaking some chains like that. Breaking chains, if you know what I mean. Bro, he and Sancho, these two kids, just let them go. Just let them go, guys. Just let them go. Thank you that they're leaving and they're going away from our club. And we need to just be like, you know what? Let them post, let them enjoy themselves. They are gone. You know what I mean? We've got rid of the dead weight, what they were. Big up. He's gone. He got it. Hasn't he got his move to Barcelona? Why are you still saying Rashford out? He's on his way. And Sancholini is on his way to Turin. Good for the both of them. You know what I mean? Sometimes it don't turn out like how you want it to, and it just ends up to be a shitty situation. It's that same door to slam Rashford and Garnacho attitude as well. Yeah, I mean, I haven't spoke on Garnacho, but there is a possibility that Garnacho will be going out the door very soon. Yeah. Aston Villa is heavily interested. Chelsea is also considering a move for the player. And there's also possibilities from Italy as well as La Liga. What happens with Garnacho? It's left to be seen, but I can say one thing. He will be leaving Manchester United, whether it be in the next week or the next 3 weeks. Before the window closes, he will be going out the door. You know what I mean? So, this has been the Sunday update, guys. Big up to all of you watching. Don't forget to smash a like and subscribe. It's been your boy Marken. Big up to each and every one of you. This guy, this guy is blaspheming, bro. Blasphemy. Watkins over Sesko. Nah, these English guys, bro. Nah, bro. That's wild. That is wild. That is absolutely wild.